Pubcast. If you're not listening to Pubcast, the terrorists are winning. That's what Jay Moore says.
Welcome to the Pubcast. Sit down and enjoy a pint.
Welcome to the Tommy Boy episode of the Pubcast. Allison, Rob, and Ed join me to break down this 1990s classic starring Chris Farley and David Spade. This movie holds a special place for us as we all went to Marquette University, as did Chris Farley. And the character of Tommy Callahan even graduates from Marquette in the beginning of the movie. This movie, like a lot of the SNL movies, runs high on the jokes per minute scale. This is arguably the funniest of all the SNL movies. It's extremely quotable and rewatchable and really feels like a timeless comedy. So quit playing with your dinghy and check out our breakdown of Tommy Boy.
Holy shnikes.
Is that for me?
No, son, that's for me. You know, a lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
There's always has been, always will be, a family firm. Oh, son of a... Someday my son will run it.
Luke, I am your father.
Aw, I've interrupted happy time.
That's my name. Yeah, that's your new office now. Whoa.
Do we really want to put the future of the company in Tommy's hands?
Promise me you'll look after Tommy Boy here till he gets his feet wet.
Sure, and thanks for choosing me. Hey, Tommy, this is not a vacation for me. I'm out here against my will, so the least you can do is pretend to work. Ugh, I can actually hear you getting fatter. All right, it's sale time, so remember, we don't take
No for an answer.
No,
Okie dokie.
I'm gonna pass.
Gotcha, thanks. Oh, son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Okay, let's check you out. All right.
That's a clip, huh?
Hi, are you sure?
Can't breathe.
He's a big dumb animal, isn't he, folks?
No, son of a... What'd you do? I'm a maniac on the floor.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
Why?
All right, Tommy Boy, 1995.
I'm already laughing.
The no-nonsense plot. Are you interrupting me before I say the no-nonsense plot?
No, I'm not saying anything. Sorry.
Rob the
please
show
proceed.
killer? For fuck's sake.
Please proceed. Please proceed.
After his auto parts tycoon father dies, the overweight, underachieving son teams up with a snide accountant to try and save the family business. That's a good one.
That is I don't think that's no nonsense. I think that thing communicated a Greek tragedy right there.
It's got color. It's offensive a little bit. It's good.
I didn't know how it was going to end. I mean, it was, you know.
All right. Overall reaction to the movie,
My God.
where and when you saw it, the impact, what you like about it, don't like about it, overarching themes, that sort of thing. We were all at Marquette. I mean,
How many of us saw it together? Did we see this together?
I distinctly remember piling into someone's car and going to see it.
I feel like we were in like Setna's Fiero or something like that.
Setna, or did somebody else have a car? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Sherry Butler might have.
Yeah.
Ew.
Come on.
Always recording.
Yeah, I know it was out. This was 95, right? So, right about that time. For some
March, yeah.
Some of us
more
were
with my
graduating, others of us needed another year.
We were
yes.
Regardless, we were coming up to finals week.
Right.
It was
yes.
Yeah.
I somehow associated with like one of my first jobs. Like, so post school. I don't know why, but
I was thinking the same thing, Rob. It was like more like in March of '95, like it wasn't really released, it wasn't really out there, or certainly in video. It was always like released a year later. So I was kind of thinking the same thing. I don't remember it being a college thing, but
well, I mean, yeah, that may have been the case, but Allison and I definitely saw it in the theater in March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is a creeper movie, though, in the sense that it built on me, between 1995 and 2000. It wasn't so much of a oh my gosh, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh,
I don't know that I would agree with that. I think it was kind of funny out of the gate. It became it was fairly quotable right away.
Yeah.
But it became a part of the fabric of our lives and kind of quoted over.
Oh no,
but
I mean,
100%. I mean, you talk about impact. They're like top. It's like a top 3 movie that I quote. There was like this, Swingers, and I don't know, probably Ace Ventura. I quote the most. And then like this Tommy Boy like definitely trumps the other two. But timeline of my I remember watching it, I think, in the Chime House with Allison, Brendan, and Polly.
Like,
I'm sure.
We owned it.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's the first consciousness that I remember. I don't remember seeing it in the movie theater. I think I remember seeing it at the Chime House in Milwaukee, like 96
VHS.
or later, 7.
But to the point of to the level it has seeped into everyone's consciousness. Yeah. Like, holy shnikes is now like a intergenerational exclamation in my household. Right. Which I never heard until this, obviously until this movie. But my kids sometimes would be like, "Holy shnikes!" Like,
Tommy Boy is one of Liam's favorite movies.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and
it transcends the generations.
I forget it. I mean, he saw it a couple years ago, whatever it was. Yeah. I don't know, 3 years ago, and at some point, I don't know, a year after that, for some reason, I said, "Oh yeah, that guy in Tommy Boy, he died." And he's like, "What?" He was like shocked and like it affected him for a second.
A little bit sad. Like, he was like, "Wait, there's no more movies by this guy?" We're like, "Well, there's like a couple, but no new ones."
Well, there's the same movie filmed in 3 different ways, like with Black Sheep. Yeah.
There was Schneikes and Son of a. When I watched it, it was like, I don't Son of a being like a dozen times in this movie. I'm like, man, he says that a lot. And like, Brendan, you say that all the time.
I'm going to try not to step on our quotes until later, but we can definitely. It's
impact and what's.
It's impossible to not talk about it.
And I think, at the time that this movie came out, it was not. There's nothing digital online that you can watch the movie fairly quickly. You're renting a VHS from Blockbuster. So it takes time. Like, I think we all appreciated it, and you could buy it and maybe you watch it after you went out to bars if you bought the video. But it wasn't until I think it was on DVD and digitally available that it really become like people just, it's so rewatchable. And
yes. But when it came out in 95, Chris Farley was the force of nature on SNL. He was the funniest guy on that show.
Yeah.
And Spade was coming along, but he wasn't quite there yet. But Farley was the guy and had been for a year.
I mean, Farley was the most explosive, but Sandler was coming on as like the emerging star. But you wanted to find out what Farley was going to do that week. Like, what was he going to break, or what was he going to,
and his core audience essentially were college students or people with the mentality of a college student.
Right.
And
that's a correct descriptor.
Throw in the extra kicker of he went to Marquette and is wearing a Marquette rugby jacket in this movie, and we are at Marquette, and we are drinking at the bars that he used to drink at. Like, I remember it being significant for our crew or our group, even when it came out.
Agreed.
For sure. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and I remember always answering the question like, "Wow, Marquette, is that really what it looked like?" I'm like, "No, that shit was filmed in
No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that quad.
I'm going to spoil that. I'm not going to wait till the trivia. So the stand-in for Marquette was the University of Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like it's a nicer school.
Much nicer. I mean, it looks like Marquette, but way dressed up. And
it looks like Marquette? Well, none of it looked like Marquette.
It looked like
really up close, it looked like at a rock.
Yeah.
It looked like Jesu or the communications school.
Not so much the wide pan.
Yeah.
It's way more green there.
Well, exactly. Okay.
Well, I mean, before we get one more general observation, because look, I'm sure we're going to get into.
I've got two more bombshells to drop, so keep going.
All right.
Real quick, obviously the joke a scene or multiple jokes per scene, but similar to Ace Ventura or some of these other movies, you just get reminded of the machine gun nature. Like the jokes are just it's joke. But then I started just thinking into it, and especially the first, I'd say 20, 25 minutes of the movie. This thing is careening out of control and barely being held together. And I didn't know any of the backstory. You know, this is a movie I appreciated just exclusively for what it was, like on face value. I didn't dig into like The Godfather to find out, what's the backstory on it.
Right.
But it was a shit show looking into it a little bit. Like, I mean, they hadn't really written the entire script by the time they started shooting. They had people like faxing in pages of the script and mourning it that they were supposed to be filmed. I mean, it was not a well thought out piece, and you just felt like it was like this mixture of SNL bits that didn't make it to the air, and they're like, how do we create a movie where we have this happen in a scene, right?
If you watch
the whole
exactly, if you watch the movie and you're paying attention. I mean, we've said this about other movies. We've done this on the podcast, but this one it's particularly obvious. This is not a movie. It's just a number of scenes strung together with a couple of characters.
Yeah, it's like a series of skits.
Yeah,
with
that's all.
The same character, but kind of different.
It's like
scenarios.
We can put them in this scenario on the road, this scenario at the coffee shop, this scenario at the gas station.
Yeah, like let's make sure we can bust a board out his face so he can do the here not there. But your point is so well taken. The people who get notoriety, like Dwyer and Ford, I think from SNL's writing staff that fix this, quote unquote, they probably get the lion's share for the big like gags, right? The person who should get the gold star for this is the one that forced just a modicum of a plot into it to hold it together, so you can understand why the hell they were doing what they were doing. Because it's barely passable, but they just got it over the line.
I read an article recently like that Lauren wanted a Gap Girls movie with Sandler and Spade was like, what? Like we barely had enough for Tommy Boy. Like you can't. What am I going to write about? That's not a movie.
It's not even a skit. Like it was barely a skit.
Yeah.
A skit.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
So here's my first bomb to drop. I don't usually do this, but this is a good one. Roger Ebert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Famous movie reviewer, critic, Chicago guy.
All right.
Likes a lot of the movies we like.
Uh-huh.
We know his sensibilities, or at least some of us do. Here's just a few choice lines from his review of Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy is one of those movies that plays like an explosion down at the screenplay factory. You can almost picture a bewildered office boy, his face smudged with soot, wandering through the ruins and rescuing pages at random. The movie is an assembly of cliches and obligatory scenes from dozens of other movies. All are better. It's like the part was written by 3 writers locked in separate rooms. No one is funny in Tommy Boy. There are no memorable lines.
No memorable lines? What?
This made his most hated list.
That part I saw. He had another movie that he later realize he made
he's got a number of them that are like big misses, but this is a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Just because of how
well. I would say this, though, Adam.
This movie's highbrow in any way, shape, or form.
You can dislike
this
it.
This is like slapstick comedy at best.
The level at which he hates it is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I would also say I can agree with every single one of the statements you just read off in his quote and come to a completely different conclusion.
Right.
I mean, the only one I could take issue with is like no memorable lines. I'm like, come on.
Right.
You know. But other than that, he's kind of accurate, I think, in this assessment there.
Yeah.
In conclusion, best movie ever made.
This is garbage, and
the fact that they pulled it together and made a great movie is amazing.
Yeah,
like I
laughed the whole time. It was amazing. Everyone should see it.
So I'm trying to think. I've seen this movie 37 times. I don't know, whatever.
Definitely more than that. Yeah.
So today was the first time I realized a humongous, I don't know if we call it a plot hole, but there's a big problem with the structure of this movie. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
oh no! Do tell.
It was
Go on.
It was something I hadn't noticed before. Is the point?
Okay.
After the dad dies, after Big Tom kicks it.
Yeah.
At the board meeting or the all hands meeting of the Callahan Auto executives or bank people or whatever the fuck that meeting is. Tommy puts up his inheritance to secure the loan for the new brake pad division, right? That's going to save the company. Puts up his house and whatever inheritance he has. They're like, okay, yeah, we can actually do that. And then the line comes, which is baffling. For context, this company supports the entire town, apparently, right? It employs hundreds of people, 1,000. I don't know how big it is.
He said later on with Selinsky, he said 300.
300. There you go. Multiple buildings. It's like in Sandusky, Ohio. It's like the biggest thing there is. Everybody knows this company. It's significant.
Okay.
They have lots of employees. Is the point?
Yes.
So somebody says after Tommy is going to put up his house, somebody says, "But who's going to sell them the brake pads?" You don't have a whole sales team. You don't have 36 people or 3 people or 11 people or
Tom did
one other person to sell.
Tom Sr. did it.
The only guy selling this stuff was one guy?
Yes.
Yes. Looking him in the eyes, hitting the road, making the big deals happen.
What was it?
You saw a leader giving a tour of that facility as Tommy returned from graduation. And he had the vision for the new brake pad division that was going to set the company on a new trajectory.
After 8 whiskey sours, I can still sell the son of a bitch. Fucking hell.
I forgot about that scene where he's like, when the hooks are coming out, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so
awesome.
So it's funny that looking into the film, I just assumed that there was more improvisation going on.
Not much.
And I guess they had given Farley a little bit more free rein just to do whatever he wanted with those hooks.
Yeah.
And he kind of seized up. So I guess that forced them to inject more of like a conversational outline, or at least, hey, we want to get from A to B in this conversation, but you guys can say whatever you want in the middle, which was what they were a little bit more comfortable with. But they didn't like the, he couldn't, Farley apparently couldn't handle the make it up completely on your own.
Spade had to write something up, and then Farley took that and ran with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that also seems like the responsible thing to do on the part of like the writers or the director is you're like, okay, you're going from this general idea to this general idea. You can figure out how you get there in between, but you've got some sort of direction like that.
The director, it was his second movie, so he wasn't, there were no adults on this situation.
Know, but I'm just saying like that should have been the case no matter what.
All right.
Look, this is the movie, though, the type of movie that proves someone in the well-respected chain of Saturday Night Live had a gambling problem or something going on in the mid-'90s because when you look into the discussion at the time, I mean, Lorne Michaels was greenlighting this, Billy Madison. He he talked about wanting to do the Gap Girls movie. I mean, Lorne Michaels was like, if there's any sketch that's mildly popular, let's see if we can convert it into a movie. I mean, Will Ferrell got Night at the Roxbury made shortly after this.
The answer isn't. Or the person you're looking for isn't someone. You just named the someone. It's Lorne Michaels.
Yeah.
He's behind all this stuff.
He and I have a relationship, so I didn't want to allege a gambling problem. But you know.
Right. Before we get into trivia and stuff, let's look at the box office performance, shall we?
I purposely avoided this, and I cannot wait to hear what happened here.
Yeah. Well, we've done 1995 before. But let's just do it again.
All right.
The top 10. 1995, Batman Forever.
Ooh.
A bad Batman. 184 million. Apollo 13, 172. Toy Story, 146. Pocahontas, animated, I guess, right? 139. Ace Ventura.
Ah, yes.
Comes in at number 5 with 103 million.
Righty then.
Snowflake.
Number 6. Number 6, Casper. With the
Are you fucking kidding me?
I know.
Wow.
Number 7, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Ooh, yes.
The third one, the Samuel L. Jackson one.
Yeah. I think that's the second of the three, ranked second of the three.
Oh, maybe.
But it's distant. But it's
92 million. Number 8, Crimson Tide, 91 million.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, GoldenEye, 91 million. Number 10, Waterworld, 88 million.
Really? I didn't think it made that much money.
Yeah. Tommy Boy, all the way down at number 52.
Whoa.
32.6 million.
Wow.
It had a budget of.
I was going to say, what was the budget?
Yeah, so it was 20, so it made 12 million on top of that.
$20 million budget?
Yeah.
Were they just moving crews around and that's why it cost so much? Because there's definitely not any
food and gas, I guess.
That all went to Lorne Michaels' cocaine.
So number
problem.
10 was 92 and then 52 was 32?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a
Number 10 was 88. But
I'm sorry, 88 to
that's how it always goes.
32?
It's always
wow.
It's
okay.
Maybe not that deep, but it's
I'm impressed that
up.
52 made 32.
So number 52 was Tommy Boy.
Yes.
Rob Nash, can you tell us what number 53 was?
Oh man, Black Sheep?
Nope. Try again.
Oh, it better not be Heat.
It was Heat.
Just kidding.
Now,
oh my God.
Truth be told, Heat came out in December of that year. So it made 31.7 in a month. Tommy Boy
just
came out
New York and LA.
Yeah, so overall, Heat made a bunch of money, but in that year, it finished behind Tommy.
Don't start sticking your dirty paws on one of the greatest movies ever made.
Nailed it. All right, let's do, where is it? Rotten Tomato score. What do we think the critics gave Tommy Boy?
Well, and I'm going to stipulate, though, this has got to be the greatest gap between critics and viewers ever, right?
If Roger Ebert is a
litmus test there,
is he the bellwether for the critics
benchmark?
Yeah.
So that's who's first?
Critics first.
Critics first.
I guess 22.
Ooh, I'm gonna go 50.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22 sounded good to me, so I'm going to go, for some reason, 27 is the next stop I'd have.
The critics have a Rotten Tomato score of 41%. So Allison was close.
Wow.
Woo! Suck it.
So now the audience.
God, what's a bad movie get then?
100.
Audience score.
Audience score for Tommy Boy
I'm going to say 86.
Did the audience go see it? Did they like it?
I'm going to say 86.
Or was it a VHS cult classic?
I'm going to go 86.
All right.
I think people who saw it liked it generally, but it's not, they didn't go bananas.
Eddie C.
I go 77.
I'm coming in right at that 82.
We just got to start making Rob go first.
Well, Rob, what did you say when this began? That it'll be the biggest gulf in between critics and audience.
Mm-hmm.
The audience score was 90.
Oh my goodness! Really?
Wow.
So critics 41, audience 90.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Clearly, they're all Saturday Night Live.
All right, trivia, fun facts.
All right.
We've already touched on some of this stuff, but get your trivia hat on.
So, Ed, you brought up earlier "son of a," and you said he said it a dozen times. Mm-hmm. He actually said it 10 times in the movie.
Son of a.
It stood out to me as like, that's a lot of time. Like the little kid. I remember the little kid scene. Where like off the swing and he ran into the glass and he kept running into more glass throughout the movie. Like I just forgot that. Like he just the same shit he did as a little kid. Like he kept doing. But that's awesome.
It was stuff like that is what saved the movie, I think.
Yeah. So, I've got another kind of like more behind the scenes thing. So first of all, this is a completely insane stat if it's true, but Chris Farley loved coffee so much that he would drink 27 cups of cappuccino a day.
Oh my God.
My heart.
And sometimes 3 at a time before the next scene.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I mean, everyone's like, oh man, Chris lived life a little too hard. I'm like, you were making this guy do Saturday Night Live, right, and perform in them, and then get on a plane and get to Toronto to make your funny little movie, and then write half those scenes while he was there, and then head back to New York at the end of the week to get on.
That requires uppers and downers.
All the other SNL movies were done in the off season. Yeah, this one was done in season.
So the other thing I had, and you guys were talking about Lorne Michaels kind of in the background being the puppet master, but apparently this movie at one point was going to be called Billy the Third, a Midwestern, was the working title.
Yeah.
But they changed, he didn't want to use the name Billy. I know, the Midwestern.
That's just a Midwestern? Come on.
It's so funny. A Midwestern is so funny.
Does anybody want to go to Gimbals?
But he wanted the name changed because it was coming out too close to Billy Madison, and he didn't want audiences to get confused between the two movies.
Well, that's what I was trying to piece together. When did Sandler hit? I thought Sandler was before Tommy Boy, but clearly not. I guess if Billy Madison was in the works, so Billy Madison must have been after Tommy Boy.
I think
it was either after or just before. It was real close.
I think Billy Madison.
Go ahead,
we can look it up. I thought it was a summer release right after this.
We don't look things up. There's no facts.
Was Happy Gilmore before or after that? Billy Madison was first and then Happy Gilmore?
Correct. I think that's correct.
Yeah.
I saw something, and I usually don't I try to skip past it, but since we're talking about it, I guess Sandler was one of the considerations for Richard. And he was already committed to a different movie.
Farley wanted one of his 2 SNL buddies.
Right.
Spade or Sandler for Richard.
Right.
Yeah. And Sandler couldn't do it because he was filming Billy Madison.
Right.
Yeah.
So 2 things. One, actually, they were released right next to one another. Billy Madison in February and Tommy Boy in March.
Lorne Michaels just owned Hollywood.
Yeah, really. Seriously, there was some payment was due.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I thought about the casting as they were trying to pull this together, I saw that Christian Slater was considered for Richard, and I actually thought that would be good. I thought that would. I mean, Spade ends up killing. I mean, again, you can't think too deeply about the movie, but Spade's great at what he does in this movie, right? And Christian Slater could be annoying, but I don't know if he would be sarcastic enough. You know what I mean?
Well, let's just jump into casting while we're doing this. So yeah, Slater was considered for Richard. We talked about Sandler as a possibility. Rob Lowe famously was going to be, his character was going to be Tommy Boy's brother. And they had to do a whole rewrite. And then Rob Lowe had to step away for scheduling reasons, and he wasn't going to do the movie. So they were starting to find people to take the Rob Lowe spot. Paul. And Matthew McConaughey was one of the actors auditioned.
Wow.
Hey, but Brendan, did you kind of note as you looked at that, Rob Lowe is weirdly responsible for a lot of this movie. Like, or a lot of things were worked around his schedule and situation. And it seems like that was also true on Wayne's World as well. There's a weird Rob Lowe Michael's connection. Well, and I think I even saw where they were like tennis buddies or something.
I was going to say, Rob Lowe is playing tennis with Lorne Michaels. Like he is like buddies with Lorne Michaels. And so I think he's involved in all these movies in some way.
Which is funny. Like I think he's respected as a comedic actor greater than I appreciate. You know,
I would agree. Yeah. Like I always thought that he was like the straight man kind of guy, but he really, you think about it, he plays a lot of comedic characters.
Yeah.
When you asked me what sent the overall likes and dislikes, I put Rob Lowe as my only dislike. This movie. I just said Rob Lowe. The rest of it was great. Like yes, Rob Lowe, and this is awesome. Like anyone, put like Will Ferrell or whatever, anyone else, whatever.
Hilarious.
But I did like Rob Lowe in Parks and Rec. Like I did think he was good in it, like from a comedic standpoint. But he was doing West Wing right before this.
Right.
And
he also did Wayne's World though too, where he was like kind of a similar guy, right?
It was also like Wayne's World. I was like, that was another one you could write him out of that, and I'd be like, all right with that. Like, but I didn't understand it. I didn't feel like he fit in this goofy.
All right, well. And you're not invited to
the pretty boy aspect of Rob.
We're not going to invite you to.
He was coming off of a hard '80s, like rebuilding his career, but he was all West Wing and serious guy, and then he tries to do these other silly things, like look at me, I can do everything, and you're like, all right, take it easy.
Yeah, I think Ed's got some issues.
I know.
I just generally like that.
Bo Derek played Beverly.
Yes.
Her husband, John Derek, was very protective of her and jealous. He was the one that made her cut her hair right before she showed up on set. He gave her that haircut because he didn't want anybody looking at her or something.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. That's like that. You see it online, and it's like it's in the funny trivia. And I'm like, I think the authorities need to be alerted.
I was going to say, that's not funny.
Granted, the first time you see her with a haircut, I was like, whoa.
Is that a wig?
Like, what's happening there? Yeah. Okay, the scene where Tommy and Michelle are in the sailboat. Tommy is about to tear up. The only way Farley could get himself to tear up at all was to just poke himself in the eye repeatedly.
Yeah,
he did it for a while, and then it did a take, but there was some issue with the camera or something, and so they had to reset, and then an hour later come back and do it again, and he had to just poke himself in the eye again.
Just rub onions in there.
So Farley, not the thespian we thought he was.
No emotion.
Really?
The woman at the pool, Lori Bagley. Chris Farley later dated her after this movie.
Did Spade hate him for that?
Yeah.
Spade introduced him.
Yes, and he did hate him.
Really?
Yeah, and he did hate him.
Spade wanted to date her, but it wasn't working out, and somehow he introduced them, and then Farley started dating her.
That's funny. So that entire scene was completely real. Say, please let this happen.
Yeah. In the film,
hey, Brendan.
Yeah.
It's naughty time.
I really am obsessed about this now because I think one of the greatest stories not totally told by all the standard sources is how this movie got made. But can I just quickly run through some stats with Lorne Michaels Productions and just their timeline, right?
I love that you are obsessed with Lorne Michaels now.
Well, he did Three Amigos.
We're on Lowe stats after, just so you know.
But Lorne Michaels produced Three Amigos in 1986. Great movie, funny movie, literally.
Great movie.
And then he didn't do anything until 1992. So the guy takes, 6 years off, and then he goes Wayne's World 92, Coneheads 93, Wayne's World 2 93, Lassie 94, Tommy Boy 95, Stuart Saves His Family 95, Black Sheep 96, Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy 96, A Night at the Roxbury 98, Superstar, Abomination, by the way, in 99.
I have watched
Man on the Moon
more often than I probably should be admitting. Superstar.
As a reminder before. Can I just finish though? As a reminder, in 2000, man makes The Ladies' Man.
Oh.
Yes. Well, my half bottle of Courvoisier cognac is over, so clearly that means only one thing. My show must be over.
That was so good.
How is that a movie?
I just want to. I just want to say
90-second skit that got turned into a 90-minute movie.
Amazing. That guy's the best.
I just want to say, God bless Lorne Michaels and whatever he went through those 7 years of hell from 93 to 2000. Whatever you were dealing with, I'm sorry. I love you. You're valued, and I'm glad you came out on the other side.
Obviously, he sold his soul to the devil, right? I mean, that's the only way.
No other answer. There's no other answer.
I mean, when you get the reaction from Night at the Roxbury and you're like, fuck it, we're doing Mary Catherine.
At least Mary Catherine was a likable skit that was on constantly, almost every week.
Right.
The Ladies' Man was on 3 times, and it was the third time you're like, all right, I get it.
I would recommend doing it in the butt.
In the butt. Ladies' Man,
that's so great though.
Shit.
In the film 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
Yes.
The doctor, played by Dan Aykroyd,
yes,
mentions that there's a Callahan Institute, which is funded out of Sandusky, Ohio by a T.B. Callahan.
Yep. I do remember hearing that.
That's insane. I don't know that movie that well, so I don't know, but I do like that. We could do, Fat Guy in a Little Coat.
Are we doing quotes already?
No.
Fat Guy in a Little Coat. That's that. You talk about impact, like that thing.
That came from Spade and Farley. Yeah, just working
every time you're putting on a coat. That's
exactly. And then, I think most people know that was Spade and Farley shared an office, and when they got late or punchy, Farley would do that to just make Spade laugh or whatever. But it was only just a saying, a phrase. It was not a song until the movie.
Yeah.
And that was sort of an improv thing that happened off camera, that they were waiting around for whatever, and then Farley's just like, "That guy in a little coat," and he starts singing, and then he starts singing the song, and the director's like, "Oh wait, get the cameras on. We got to redo the whole scene, sing it."
Yeah. The great, the throwaway line is Spade, "Take it off, dickhead. I mean it."
Anytime I've heard like David Spade talk about this movie, and obviously he and Farley were friends, and close and all that stuff. There's a lot of chemistry there, but apparently there was a ginormous fight that occurred during the filming of this, where David Spade goes out for drinks with Rob Lowe, and Chris Farley stayed back, which feels like a bit of restraint that I was not expecting in the reading of said story. But
the lead in I heard was Farley had hit it hard the night before.
Oh,
he was quote unquote sick.
I did not realize that part. But apparently then, like, the next morning, like, he was, you know, super jealous and, like, how's Rob and, like, all these different things. And they got into, like, a shoving match where David Spade got shoved down the stairs, like, shoved into a wall and fell down the stairs, or some, like, insane thing. They weren't talking for hours. They would talk through, like children, you need to go and tell David that, you know, this, and then David would respond through the other person, will tell Chris this. Like, they would not talk to each other. They would only talk through other people. Insane.
They'd be on the set next to each other and talking, both facing the same way, like into a mirror, talking to the director to tell the other guy the thing. Yeah.
Which is a very funny fight, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
it's good.
That's the best part of it. It's two comedians fighting in a ridiculous way.
Yeah. I think that happened a lot. Okay, any last tidbits? Otherwise, we move on to everyone's favorite section.
No, I mean, I think
overall, are we in overall likes and dislikes, or are we recasting? Because I think the one thing we didn't talk about was the deer scene.
Oh,
which was
free.
We're about. Well, that's memorable.
My God, like that's like a top 5 moment of just. That's the best.
Okay, Ed.
Comes to life, it rips apart the whole car.
Hold on to that, and we'll do that when we do best scenes and quotable lines.
Yes, all right, I'll sit on that one, because that was, holy crap, that was the best part of what I liked about, what I dislike about that movie is Rob Lowe, and what I like most about this movie is the deer scene.
Wow.
I love that. I mean, a couple of things before we just leave generally, Brennan. I mean, it's like, already touched on the sort of haphazard writing of it, like it seemed to be pulled together at the last second. But I mean, this is the beginning, even that stretch of movies I just ran through with Lord Michaels. But this, I mean, they've done it before, but like this is a movie that is clearly driven by, like, let's get this guy and this character into as many situations as we possibly can, like a character or a concept driving the creation of an entire movie. You know, from him crushing the coffee table in the graduation scene all through the end. They're just like, whatever we need to do to get this guy doing this thing more often. I just find it funny that a movie could still come together around that. Like, we don't know what to do with this guy, but everyone laughs every time they see him, so let's make a movie about it.
Yeah,
he's basically what they said.
Physical comedian.
It's literally a star vehicle. Like, we're going to make this guy a star.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen a lot of those past 20 years, probably.
No.
10
I was
years.
going to say, it doesn't happen as often as it used to.
Yeah.
And there was like that Saturday Night Live streak, right? You know, where Belushi kind of started it and then went from there. But it was basically just like, we'll do this.
There's not as many
Will Ferrell's going to be in it.
So you don't see that as much.
They recycled a couple goodies where like what's his name? What was Farley's character Van down by the river where he jumps on the coffee table? He did that in the fraternity house in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
They stole from SNL to like, just because like this was his, like what he was known for. And
I mean, I think there aren't as many physical comedians as there were before. Like there's a physicality to Chris Farley that comes through in this movie. Yeah. In half the comedic scenes, it's because he is doing something that his hair goes crazy, he's falling down, he's running into something, he's, you know, scrabbling around, like just like all it's physical stuff, and you don't see that as much now.
The two other things I would say about Chris Farley that I noted when I was watching it is I don't know if he would have become a good actor. But, you know, he obviously went a little early, but he could do a couple things that were so genuine. Like his deference to Richard early in the movie where he knows that he's smarter is very genuine. Like he is in awe of the guy. his politeness to adults is so genuine. Like he clearly is like. But then the other thing that I think is so funny, Rob, which makes him.
You nailed it. He's not acting in those times. That's just him.
I think he's like, yes, mister. Like you seem to be an authority, and I will say hello, mister. You know.
And this might be a bit of a glasses half full from my perspective, Rob. But I think if he were to have seen his drug problem through and lived, I think he would have been sort of Robin Williams-esque in terms of like been able to find a serious side. And I actually like to think that he would have done sort of a Dead Poets thing after being the crazy antics, in the beginning.
No, he could always dial it up.
Well, because he was a deep person, so I think you could find, and Sandler in a similar way with like Gems movie and other like Funny People and other movies like Clicked and stuff like he was deep. He was a deep person. Like
before he died, famously he was working on to whatever degree he was going to play Fatty Arbuckle in a biography. So that would have been his partially real drama piece. I mean, there's obviously a comedy, a comedic actor or person he's portraying, but that might have been the turn. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think to a certain extent, I think that he's right at that age where comedic actors started out one way and then switched to finding dramatic roles. Think about Jim Carrey. Think about, like you were saying, Adam Sandler. Like all of those there were a lot of people that wanted to be able to make the switch and somehow feel like they were legitimizing their career, even though comedic acting can't be done by everybody. Like that is a skill and a talent that often goes uncredited by critics, clearly Roger Ebert.
Raj.
The Oscars, nobody recognizes comedy as a legitimate genre of cinema.
No, they don't.
Yeah. I also thought that he had a little bit more of the harder edge than I had. I know he felt like, okay, they these physical things, so they're that harder edge is not the term. He was smart. He could be smarter than he was being portrayed.
Yeah.
But like he did a little throwaway line when Richard was trying to give him a pep talk about being a good salesman, and he goes, "Hey, everybody, it's Tony Robbins." It's like, I just think that he also knew when to like let everyone in on the joke. Like he knew what was going on.
And
I'm not taking away from the quote section, but I loved his inability to have a comeback. He's like, "You hard shell head." Like there's like no comeback. Is that a niner?
Did I hear a niner in there?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Okay, before we get
like it was awesome. It was like it's like every 9-year-old in a cul-de-sac.
Before we get to recasting, let me give you my bit of trivia, and that's I was one of the 2, 3, 5 people to see Chris Farley last alive. My parents lived in the John Hancock building. Herbie Hancock. Which is
that goes right on my list of quotable lines because I have said that 1,000 times.
It's funny that Farley lived in the Herbie Hancock building, which is great. But Farley lived, I don't know, 10 floors above them or whatever it was. And I went there to visit them, I think on a Sunday or a Saturday. And I was, they buzzed me in, or I went to the doorman and whatever, they buzzed me in, however the hell that works. And I walk through the door and I physically run into this guy with his hat pulled down, and it's Chris Farley. He's got, one of those flat Irish caps on, and sort of bumps into me like, "Oh, sorry." And then, he's disheveled and, heading out. And I'm like, "Holy crap, that was awesome. Great." Cut to 3 days later, he's found dead in his room upstairs. And when you hear the stories and connect the dots, he was almost certainly, when I bumped into him, he was leaving the building to go to church for the last time, going to church down the road. And then
he had like a big day and a half or something, didn't he?
Yeah, good.
Like a bender.
2-day bender. Yeah. And then he was dead. So there's 5 people that saw him in that last few days, and I was one of them. So,
except for the 2 people that might have been at Saturday Mass.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay. It's a recasting debate. We call it recast debate.
Better close the door. It's time to recast debate.
Sinner.
Nailed it.
Sinner.
Nobody does that better than Rob. That's so
no, Allison. No one does it better than Allison. Sinner.
That should just.
Thank you, Rob.
We should take a minute.
All right. For those scoring at home, we have 7 main people, I'm going to call them, and then we may have some bonus people. I don't know, whatever. We've got Tommy, we've got Richard, we've got Michelle, Paul, Beverly, Zelinsky, just because I wanted to do that one, and Big Tom.
Yep.
Anything beyond that is whatever you want.
This character is so identifiable with Chris Farley,
right?
Obviously. The idea of trying to recast Tommy Boy is like, well, I don't understand what the point is. Like, so I really had a huge problem. I'm like, I can build a movie where it would be interesting to see these new people react to Chris Farley, but I can't. The movie doesn't work in my mind if it isn't Chris Farley, right?
We did it with Ace Ventura. I mean, this is.
I know it is the same thing, but I will say there's a warmth or maybe a soft spot for him and how he, is still around or is not still around, and it's just like, how do you figure someone else could do this?
Be clear, recasting Tommy is impossible.
Right. I mean, because the movie was written for him.
Yeah.
Like, this is all about Chris Farley, his persona, his physicality, his line delivery. All of that is for him.
Yeah.
So
it will become immediately clear when I go through my recasting that I didn't try to find the new Farley.
I agree. I did the same thing. I was kind of trying to reframe the Tommy character in a slightly different way.
I went in wild directions.
Yeah.
I thought of one that could kind of do it, and then I'm like, I'm breaking some type of law, so I'll stop thinking about it.
Yeah. I'm 100% certain somebody's gonna just be like, no, with one of mine.
Oh, I would think 2 of mine are no.
And the person that I think I'm gonna get the no on, I would put money on the fact that somebody else has them on their list.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah.
All right, Eddie, what's up?
Ed, you good?
Yeah, sorry. Hang on a moment.
Go for it, dude.
Apparently, it's a domestic issue occurring. All right, let's hit this. He'll have to hurry up. Let's do Julie. Who cares about Julie?
What? Wait a second.
No. This is top down.
No. And we need all reactions for said casting.
If by Julie you mean Michelle, then
yeah, I'm sorry, Michelle. Julie Warner was the actress. Sorry. Hey, everybody.
The door over that way opens, and just a quick question. Logistics in the morning, we got soccer and hoops, but whatever. Sorry.
Right.
Hey, everybody. It's Scotty Robbins.
Okay. Let's start with Rob Nash, and let's do your Tommy.
You're going to have to pick your maybe 3 out of 12 that you might have on your list.
All of us need to limit ourselves to 3, and then after we give all of ours, then we can throw out wild cards. Like, we thought about this, we thought about that.
I will make this even more efficient. As I said, I could not even entertain the idea. So I thought a person that could do it, but he'd have to dumb it down because he's been seen as being smart too often. I thought Jonah Hill could be Tommy, but that was it.
He's in his 50s. So that's potentially an issue.
Right.
He's not in his 50s, but
he's not?
Because I'm not. He's not as old as I am, and I'm not in my 50s. So
that's good. I mean, I like Jonah Hill, but you know.
But I mean, again, we're kind of pivoting off the last section on Farley. Like, I can't think of a type of personality that there's been in 30 years that's like him. Like Kevin James is kind of physical, I guess, but like not in the manic way that he is. I mean, that intro when Farley comes on Letterman that one time, I mean, like you're never going to see something like that, you know, in years.
No.
So I don't know who I could even compare him to. Everyone else I could give a comparison.
Jack Palance can do push-ups. So he
yeah, exactly.
He would have been.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to go with mine. I've got two, because the third one is so bad, I'm not even going to say it. It's
John Hamm. John Hamm.
I ran into the same issue with age.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with a de-aging technology, although he looks young, but still, Kenan Thompson.
Damn it. That was mine.
Kenan Thompson's my number 2. And my number 1, it changes the movie significantly. I don't know what we specifically can do here. We got to make a move, but I'm going with A.D. Bryant from SNL.
Yeah,
I thought about it.
That's you know what? That is about as close as you can get right now.
I think she can pull off the sweetness. She can play dumb and goofy. She can do the Midwestern thing too.
Yeah. I mean, McCarthy can do it too, but she's
right.
McCarthy 20 years ago. But yeah, I mean, the age thing is always difficult for me because everyone I know is 40 in all these movies.
What about Rebel? What's her name?
Wilson.
Well, if you saw the trailer of her new movie, she's lost like 60 pounds. So she can't play the Jolly Farley guy.
Yeah, she's not Fat Amy from Pitch Perfect anymore. She's
So 80 Bryant is my Farley. Allison, what do you got for a Farley?
So I'm going to call this a not choice or not a real selection.
Oh,
but
so Ed, we're going with 3 max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it's de-aging, but the way that I was thinking about this is almost taking a character that was in another movie and putting him in this movie.
Okay.
And that is the Alan character from The Hangover with Zach Galifianakis.
Right.
Playing like an adult who has been living off of his dad forever. So he's not a recent graduate, but he's been rich kid, adult, and
you're rewriting the movie though.
I know, that's what I said. All right. More realistic. This one, my second choice is he's a little bit more obscure, but he's a goofball, but the physicality is different. He's thin. Skylar Gisondo.
Whoa. I had that for lunch.
If you've seen the movie Booksmart, he plays Jared. Jared. Rob, have you seen it?
No, I'm laughing about it. I had that for lunch.
All right. The only other person I picked, again, changing the character a bit to be kind of a burnout, is Pete Davidson.
Yeah, I hate Pete Davidson, so
all right.
I can't endorse that, but I get it.
Okay.
Well,
that is all.
That is the problem where we were discussing before, is that this movie was written for Farley. So you can't replace Farley. So whatever we're going to do, it's not going to work, but we're trying our best.
Yeah. So I had a hard time, and I took the approach, and I mean, maybe I'm breaking the rules, but maybe I'm a transition for the next person. But I looked at the pairing of the two,
right?
Yeah,
and you couldn't separate Richard from Tommy because they needed to play off each other. And you took Kenan Thompson, so I'll take Chris Reed as the Richard, the counterbalance, because I love their current show.
Chris Red.
And I wanted to also sort of stay true to SNL, and I love the concept of sort of flipping it and going from white, to black, which would be great.
Yep.
And in that vein, I thought Key and Peele would be awesome.
No.
They might actually be able to do that. That was a good one.
I think
it was fun. And wouldn't be humongous. It wouldn't be like fat weight kind of thing, but it would be just awesome. So I also thought
is the bumbling. Peel is the bumbling, and Keegan is like the rule follower. Is awesome.
Right. That would be fun. And then if you were to kind of going with a little bit of SNL too, if it weren't to sort of flip it conceptually, but also need a time machine, Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly could also be a fun combo. But again, they're old, and they've been there, done that. So maybe less cool. But
So since you introduced it, the pairing could potentially be important here, right? Yeah. I mean, you may hire these people in pairs. So, and I not purposefully, but maybe subconsciously, I stuck with the SNL.
I had a lot of SNL,
with Farley and Spade and all that. So I'll go top down. I'll go 1 to 3. Since my Tommy boy was 80 Bryant, my Richard was Melissa Villaseñor.
I love her.
Yeah, that's not bad.
She's funny.
I mean, I think she can pull it off, and she can play straight very well.
Yeah.
You know, my backup is Kyle Mooney.
Oh, yeah.
Richard. And then the one I like the best, but I don't think he fits with any of my potential. He might fit with Kenan Thompson, would be Colin Jost.
Oh, he was on my list.
Yeah.
Oh, Colin's good. I had not thought about that.
To go back to the no nonsense plot, he's snarky.
Right. He can be condescending and snarky and insulting. Yeah.
I kind of have a bizarro Colin that makes sense, which makes Colin sound even better.
Well, go for it. Give us your Richard.
I thought a couple people could do it, and I like all of them for different reasons. Dave Franco, I think, could kind of do it. He's my least
Rob
favorite.
Brings up Dave Franco every podcast.
I like a good Dave Franco. Yeah.
I thought the Dave Franco and Jonah Hill would work, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Along the lines of Colin, I think Max Greenfield.
Oh
yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
A new, from New Girl and
I love him so much. So fun.
And then 2 of the quick ones. I thought John Mulaney could actually be the.
He's on my list.
See, I did not choose him. I was trying to not get stuck in with age issues.
But I thought Mulaney could be that fighting character, and then I love an aggressive Michael Cera. I think Michael Cera could do it too.
All right.
Oh, that's good.
Al, give us your Richard.
2 of my 3 were selected, and I'm left with my 3rd choice, which is a bummer. But I picked Donald Glover.
This podcast loves Donald Glover.
I love Donald Glover. But I like the idea of him reacting to whatever nonsense of the Tommy character.
I almost picked him and the big guy from Atlanta, the other guy in that cast.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Eternals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was on Get Out? Who was his friend, the TSA agent?
I don't know. TSA. I don't know that show that well.
Oh, all right. I was saying Donald Glover, and he's a kind of like roly-poly.
That might be the
black comedic actor.
Yeah. I think that's the same guy.
Oh God, I can't remember his name though.
Right, I can't either. Eddie C, give us your Richard, if you didn't already.
Well, so I gave Chris Reed with Kenan Thompson and Jordan Peele to Michael Key, or the opposite, and then John C. Reilly with Will Ferrell.
Oh,
so my Richard has been accounted for.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we got him.
The other one that hasn't maybe been sort of SNL ish with Tommy to Richard would be Adam Sandberg to Joe Trigulio from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They're like a funny.
Holy cow.
That's actually funny.
That would be my Joe Richard. Be like,
that's actually. I think that might be my favorite. Ed's like throwing it away, last minute throwaway.
All right, Ed. Since we're with you, let's stick with you and go with your Michelle.
So again, sort of my line one was sort of flipping it with Kenan and Chris Reed. So either I came up with Zoe Saldana or Zaldana, and then Zoe Kravitz.
Whoa.
Zoe Saldana. Yeah.
She was Gamora in the Marvel.
Yeah.
They're both way too attractive.
That's big ticket.
Well, right. But that was hard. But they were under 40.
Oh, hey, Brendan, before we get deeper into this, can I just say the lack of age difference between the main cast is disturbing, especially given, I mean, the Bo Derek Rob Lowe thing was intentionally creepy.
Between Farley, Spade, and Rob Lowe and Julie Warner.
So the way I look at it, Julie Warner was 30, Rob Lowe was 31.
Right.
Farley was 41.
41.
Spade was 31.
Yeah.
And Bo Derek was 39.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That haircut did not.
I thought she was like 35 or 36, but yeah, it made her. She was
I thought she was like 45.
If you were an adult,
I thought she was older than that.
Yeah, so did I. If you were an adult in the 70s, I don't think you looked 39 when you were 39. You looked like you.
Yeah, the hard part is she had to match with like Big Tom.
Yeah.
So that was where on this list and the recasting, that's where I struggled was sort of matching a dad to
but the dude quote unquote making out with his mom was just 8 years different age, which I find interesting.
I know. So insane. Okay, so we got Julie. I'll do my Julie then, I guess.
You're Julie.
Sorry, my Michelle.
Yeah.
I did the Rob Nash move.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Anna Kendrick.
Yep. That's what I had.
As a Michelle. Duh. Number 2 is Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. Whatever. Right. Kind of a throwaway.
Okay.
Number 1 I like. I don't know why I like it though. Maybe because she's the youngest, probably. Selena Gomez. Different.
Interesting.
Very different.
It's like 31 or something, right? So that's good. Good job, Brendan.
Listen, these are not all going to be gems.
Yeah.
Now give us your Michelle.
So when I was thinking about this character, unfortunately, I feel like it's an underwritten character. Like she's almost she's the love interest distraction in the movie. That Anna Kendrick almost was too much firepower for that role.
Oh, I think any actress we know is to be too much firepower.
Oh, you don't think Michelle or Julie Warner delivered a blistering Academy Award worthy?
It wasn't about her. It's about the role and the part that was written. Like, I think it's just common.
She doesn't like file cabinets, Al.
Right.
He yelled on that boat. That was dramatic.
I know where you live and I know where you sleep.
Whoa.
I've really only got. I don't really even. I don't even care.
Give us one. Give us one.
Okay. Caitlin Dever. She's also in Booksmart. Right. She's been in a couple of other things. She's kind of funny, but can also play a straight part. Right. That's it. That's what I'm saying. I didn't really want to.
All right, Rob.
I feel like the way the part's written, plug in female actress. Like that's it.
Of course. Rob, give us your Michelle.
Well, unlike Allison, I have a little bit more confidence in the ability of female actors to match up.
I'm saying the part, not the actress. Separate the two, my friend.
I thought Allison Brie could be funny in this role.
You like to cast her.
I think so too.
Who wouldn't?
This is the same part that Courtney Cox plays in Ace Ventura, by the way. It's just it's just a woman.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's all I got.
Allison Brie, that's it? All right.
I felt like I finished the job.
I think I will mark your assignment completed. Okay. Beverly.
Yep.
I wrote down so many possible names.
Yep.
It's obviously a nothing part.
Right.
So I was trying to do the Bo Derek version. Like, she was a sex symbol in the 70s,
right?
Playing the mom or whatever in the 90s,
right?
So I wanted to do the same thing,
right?
And I failed miserably. Because my first thought was Phoebe Cates.
Oh,
too old, and it didn't quite work. But that's the spirit of what I was going for.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I'm not doing that. So that's just an example. So I throw down 3 that I have no faith in any of them. I'm just going to throw them out there. Number 3, Halle Berry.
Okay.
Apparently, we have an unlimited budget for my film.
Right.
I had her too.
Number 2, here's the wild card. Heidi Klum.
I love it. I feel like we should stop talking about it right now. She's the winner.
Number 1, just for fun, Angelina Jolie.
Oh my God.
All right. Ed, give us your Beverly.
So you took Halle Berry with my sort of flipping with key appeal concept. So if I go the other way and I have Andy Samberg and Joe Tribulio, Gal Gadot would be the Beverly. instead of going old, I go young, and then like
no, she's too that doesn't work. It makes me
be it like Wonder Woman like concept, and be like wait, and have him be more awkward with like that interaction. All right. So and then again, it was hard for me to separate Beverly from Big Tom, so I don't want to steal from Big Tom, but I can connect too because it would be.
All right.
Exceptionally awkward with an Adam Sandberg lead.
Mention her when you mention Tom, just for context. Rob Nash, give us your Beverly.
One quick note on casting. I'm sorry I didn't bring this up, but I did see somewhere that Farrah Fawcett was also considered for the Bo Derek role.
Yeah. Oh,
and
I didn't see that.
That funny. I mean, same kind of thing, except I think Farrah Fawcett might have been even older,
probably
at that same time. Yeah,
and dare I say, probably a better actress.
Maybe
they're both. I don't.
Shockingly to say that. Yeah. Also, fun.
That's right.
Also, a fun fact: Dennehy was in 10 with Bo Derek.
Oh, that's right.
Oh wow! Look at you. Nice.
10.
Good pull, Rob. Good pull.
Right.
Holy shit.
We were sitting on that. Boom.
And did you note that quote?
Yeah.
Tommy Sr. brings Tommy Boy home. There's other surprise when he's going to tell him about their being engaged. You know, the scene is Bo Derek comes out of the water, right? And the best line of the movie, which is inappropriate. We didn't touch on the number of inappropriate lines, but Tommy looks at his dad and goes, "Is that for me?" Oh. And his dad responds, "No, son, that's for me."
Right. Hilarious. Okay. Come on.
That's followed up by "She's a 10," which was a little heavy-handed.
Yeah.
You're like,
she's a 10. That was the point of my story. Thank you.
She's a 10.
All right.
Did you notice that quote? The most obvious quote in the movie. Fucker.
Yeah. I'm like, that actually got me a groan when I watched this day. I'm like, come on.
I think the one part that could have actually been funnier for this movie is that the Bo Derek character had a little bit more of a sense of humor. So I was trying to think of women that could be like attractive and like the ideal of the, you know, of that form or whatever, and still be funny, right? Like, and funny in the way you want it to be for this. So Emily Blunt was one that came to mind. I thought she could be funny, and you know, the looker. Sarah Hyland from Modern Family, who's like the older daughter. I thought she could be that funny kind of thing.
Wait,
but
is she?
Yes.
Is she even old enough to play that role?
She's over. I looked it up.
Yeah,
no, she's like 32, though. I mean, she's not that far up. Yeah.
She's 32.
She's getting there.
Yeah, we're old, Brendan. We're old. She's 32.
I got it. I'm just saying she's the exact same.
Her younger brother could be Tommy. That was actually, I was thinking about like, the younger brother could be Tommy. And that would be.
But But the one I settled on, who is 39, is Kirsten Dunst. I thought she could be funny, and
I have one written down that I can't believe you didn't say. I'll come back to it in a second, but I'm surprised that you specifically, Rob, didn't say this one. So, okay. No. Good, great. Who are we missing? Al? No, yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely went a different route. So I didn't look up Bo Derek's age to know kind of like where she was.
I didn't want someone in their 20s. I didn't want someone in their 60s. So
I went more about iconic supermodels as opposed to thinking about age.
I thought about that too.
Well, so welcome Elle McPherson.
No, I've got Cindy Crawford.
Yeah.
I've got Christy Brinkley. Who can still pull off a bikini.
That's great.
But the one that I liked, it's a different playoff of 10 because of her Sports Illustrated history is Tyra Banks coming out of the pool in a bikini.
I don't think she can wear that anymore, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen her lately.
No. I haven't either, but I don't know about that. But regardless, she can figure it out.
I'm sure she'd figure that out. Yeah.
Good. I liked the supermodel angle. The one I thought Rob would say, and she has the comedic chops, would have been Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, that's actually pretty good too.
Sofia Vergara, now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. People I wrote down that I didn't say, Jennifer Aniston, Elizabeth Hurley, Denise Richards.
Denise Richards.
But, you know. Okay, let's move on to Zelensky and Big Tom, and let's move on. Okay, my Zelensky. Okay. I'm going to give you an answer that is the only right answer if he was still around.
Oh.
This guy is deceased.
You're casting a dead person?
I'm reanimating a corpse.
Wow.
For this.
Yeah, I don't feel like this works.
And that person is Phil Hartman.
No.
And that's the only guy who should play this role. But since that can't happen, I'll give you two. My third one's kind of nothing. I got Rob Schneider, who can definitely play smarmy and smug. And the one I like the best is Chris Rock. I'm leaning into my SNL stuff. I'm going Chris Rock for Zelensky, a very different Zelensky.
You're thinking of the Fargo character. Like he's ready to be serious. Yeah.
Maybe we change his last name to Jenkins instead of Zelensky or something. I don't know, but
I like it. Dan Aykroyd's character had some funny lines. Whatever. I like it.
I think they're doing some comedy there. Rob, give us your.
I didn't even do Zelensky, and sorry for that. I have a Big Tom, but I think it was. As I watched it today, it was like strictly written almost as an extended opportunity for to do his, Chicago accent.
Oh yeah.
No, of course.
So, Robbie, if you don't have a guess and you don't mind my going, Brendan.
Yeah, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Following Chicago actors who are younger, I went Vince Vaughn.
No.
Yeah.
As swarmy, snarky, small role.
Yeah.
Can be an asshole. The end.
Yes. Yeah, you nailed it.
That's it? One and done. Boom.
He was my Chicago guy.
I think you're right.
All right. I'm going to say two. I'm crossing out one of my names. So I was thinking about this as who's going to be kind of the two-faced salesperson. Like where he's like, I'm, make car parts for the working man because that's who I care about, or whatever the kind of the slogan is. So I was thinking Andy.
Car parts.
Yeah. So I was thinking Andy Garcia could do that, where he could be a slick salesperson, and then like the second the camera's off, he's talking crap. The other is Bradley Whitford.
Oh, I like Whitford.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I actually have now. I have one now based on Allison's description. Jason Bateman could be Zelensky.
Or Brad Cooper. Brad Cooper could also be that smarmy double-faced guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Bateman does it better, though, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
All right. Big Tom. Let's go to Ed so he can connect Big Tom to Beverly.
So, there's the two ways I thought about it, kind of mapping up Kenan Thompson, Chris Reed, and Halle Berry as Beverly, would be Lawrence Fishburne with Halle Berry. And I love him in Blackish. If you haven't seen that show, it's amazing. He's, whatever. Yeah. He's the grandpa there, and he'd be exceptionally inappropriate. And I could see him throwing in Kenan Thompson's face and be just a great scene. Yep. And then similarly with Adam Sandberg and Joe Trigulio as the Tommy Richard bit, Gal Gadot was my Beverly to Kevin Nealon. And Kevin Nealon could also be exceptionally sort of challenging to Andy Samberg, and that would be a great.
I almost put down Kevin Nealon.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one.
That's almost as good as Apatow coming up with Rudd and oh my God, who is his dad? Albert Brooks. So good.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
All right. I've got 3. Nothing jumps out at me as great. This one was, you could put a lot of names in. I don't love any of them, though. So I think Ed wins so far. But I'm going to go with number 3, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Could do a Big Tom, maybe.
Yeah.
Kevin James.
Yeah.
But I don't have a Tommy that works with him.
He's a bit silly for being the shrewd salesperson that Big Tom's supposed to be.
I like my number 1, but I think it's a very different part, and it would be Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell is Big Tom.
Yeah.
Could do it fine, but it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's whatever. Who cares?
He's great in anything. I like Will.
Yeah. All right, Al. Big Tom.
So, if I had found a black or brown Tommy, I probably would have done better with this, but I really like
Well, we all know Cedric the Entertainer, of course, could do this.
Keith David was somebody that I wanted to put in as Big Tom.
It's good. I think he might be a little old. I think he's getting
He's in his 60s.
Is he? I thought he was in his 70s.
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so.
Okay.
He upper 60s, I think, but I don't think he's 70.
I'm in for Keith David in most things. Yeah.
I was really trying to figure out the wedding scene. That's where I kept trying to figure out, okay, who's in this?
Do you know the scene that I thought of when I was casting Big Tom was the belly bump with Farley at the beginning.
Oh.
Who can do that?
Right.
Well, my challenge with this part was that so perfectly, Brian Dennehy is so perfectly cast. He is the perfect extrapolation of a Tommy with his personality and ability to engage with people who matures into something effective, right? He's the perfect example of that. It was a great casting maneuver.
Agreed. And that's where I kind of struggled. So if I were to try to think through, okay, who could be the series, who could command an audience, but also looks like they might've been an F up when they were younger. I thought of Brendan Gleeson. I think he might be too old though, but he could be boisterous and loud, but also can be very commanding at the same time.
You want him from Gangs of New York or something,
right? And
the Irish guy with the red hair that carried the stick.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a totally different.
The barber.
Yes. Right.
It's a totally different direction, and I have no limit of a budget on this, is Tom Hanks. Thinking about okay, who has this funny, almost immature side to them, but also can be very commanding and be taken very seriously.
And the problem is we have, and Ed addressed this with all his stuff, but none of us did ours in groups, is that you got to cast so-and-so's father.
Right.
So if you don't have the actor, it's hard to cast the dad. Right. It's hard to cast.
Domino. That's why it's a struggle. There's so many choices. But
how do you cast Big Tom if you don't have Tom?
Right.
Tom.
Right.
So.
But I did think, well, if Pete Davidson was the son, that makes a lot of sense.
Honestly, I think Tom Hanks' son is a lot like Pete Davidson.
It actually is.
No, he is.
That's a good combo. I like that. And he's like a Niner club or a Fiver club or whatever. So that also maps to SNL.
Nash, did we get your Big Tom yet?
No, I mean, the one thing I was saying, though, is exactly what you were. Like, whatever actor you pick, someone that can extrapolate the younger one, right? Like, how do they connect to the younger one? So I thought the person, like, no matter who you pick, that Hank Azaria could be the older guy.
Oh my God.
Because he would pick up whatever essence the little guy had and, like, make it worse. I also thought, I should have said this first, actually.
You could do a voice.
But I thought, you could do any voice, whatever voice you had, you could do.
I do not wear shoes because they make me fall down. Greatest line ever in Birdcage.
So good.
Greatest line.
And then I thought Dean Winters, Mayhem from Allstate could be the dad.
Yeah. That's good. All right. Memorable scenes.
Oh, we're skipping
Paul. Oh, wait. Sorry.
We're skipping Paul.
Did do a Paul? Did we do a Paul?
We haven't done Paul yet. If we're doing Paul.
Oh, my gosh. It's the longest thing ever.
Let's do Paul. Let's do Paul quick.
Oh, there's only one Paul.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Rob,
I want to hear that.
Paul, then.
Going with confidence.
It's Zac Efron. It's got to be Zac Efron.
That's totally who I
I like Zach. I Chris Pine might compete, but I feel like Zach beats Chris Pine.
Chris Pine's too old.
He is too old, but all my people are too old. That's fine. I like Zach.
Play any character.
See,
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah, Sammy Davis.
Right. Rob Lowe. Yep.
I'm happy to default to Zac Efron, but I'll do a Charlie Day. Mm-hmm. Just because of
shut up
the fun we have with Charlie Day on this podcast. Yeah. So that's just a throwaway.
You can't have the vacuum.
Shut up.
You can't have the vacuum tube ripping the shirt off of a Rob Lowe and put a Charlie Day in that scene.
So
that's why I went Chris Pine.
I would go Sebastian Stan.
Oh, he was on my list too.
Oh, well,
as like a Rob Lowe stand-in.
Yep.
Or I'm going to stick with the MCU and do a Tom Hiddleston as well.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
No.
Terrible.
That's good. I mean, there's a bit of interchangeability with this character. Right. I mean, I had 5 names written down, so you picked 2. I'd also add Taron Egerton to this list.
That's the same thing as Zac Efron.
I know. And then I also have Jonathan Groff.
Oh, yeah.
Too. I feel like he played.
Brennan, why do you know who that is?
He's in Mindhunter, that series on Netflix.
But he was also in Hamilton. He played King George. If you've seen that. When it was on Broadway, also, super.
He was also in the new Matrix movie.
Yeah.
He was in Glee. That's what I know him from. I watched Glee. Shut up.
I mean, he definitely vacillates between drama and comedy, which is why I kind of liked him. Robert.
All right.
Sorry.
Now, memorable scenes and quotable lines.
There are none.
Let's let Ed start off because he's got one he wants to talk about. The deer.
So I don't want to take the deer scene away from any quotes.
No,
throw it in.
Memorable scenes and quotable lines. That's the section.
I put the deer scene higher than a memorable scene in terms of what how has it impacted me as a person? Like that scene makes me happy. Like when I'm having a bad day, all I need to do is put on Tommy Boy in that scene. And every single time I see a deer on a road, that shit brings me back to watching that, and I crack up, and people don't laugh enough in life, and that makes me laugh. So, and I live in the damn woods right here, so I see deer all the time, and so every time I see them, I just think about sorry about your car, man. Every time I see a deer, I go, sorry about your car, every time.
But the accompanying line that goes with it is so great, which is, I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my time, but that was awesome.
So good. I use that was awesome by itself all the time.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And the double fingers and boom. And yes, 100%.
Agreed.
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome. But sorry about your car, man.
Oh, shit. I'm crying right now.
I did find that in a movie that clearly lacked discipline, they had the foresight to take a month to hire a deer trainer to have the deer stand up on the overturned car at that one scene.
It was not the same car they used the rest of the film. It wasn't even the same model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Holy shnikes.
In the backseat.
Richard, who is your favorite little rascal? Was it Alfalfa or?
There are a whole series of jokes. I didn't write them all down, but I thought in the early part of the movie, there were. I mean, obviously, sometimes things get dated, but there were a whole series of horror jokes that I thought were funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then they would use the dreaded R word occasionally. It's funny how things get they were calling each other retarded in different parts of the movie. Of course, I'm chuckling at many of these jokes, but you do get jarred. You forget, 1995 seems like yesterday, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, agreed.
I say every time I pull into a gas station, I say, "What'd you do?" Every time I get back in the car, I say that, and nobody laughs. I laugh, but
I will say to myself occasionally, I'm like, they only had diesel.
Hey, why don't you pump any gas?
They're all out. They only got diesel. Better go to the next station. What'd you do?
They only gotta keep going.
We've definitely said in our house, if we got hurt or something hurts, saying not here or right here, but right here.
My shoulder doesn't hurt very much, but my face does. Right here. Not here or here so much, but right here.
Yes. But the reaction daily about 75 times. So yes, 1,000%.
But Richard's like, nope, everything's fine. And then the waitress comes up and she's like, Jesus, what happened to your face? And immediately he's like, I knew it.
Richard.
Richard, I knew it.
Do it. Yeah, the best.
Quit playing with your dinghy.
So not so much here, but right here, and immediately followed by, and crossing movies, sorry, but Ace Ventura Part 2, it's in the bone. It's in the bone. Like every time. And my kids actually say it. They're like, they go
not so much here.
Like they go like one injury, two injuries. You're like, oh, and it's not so much here or here.
Him too afraid to get out. Him just a little guy. Look, Mommy, the rhino is getting too close to the car.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers
Gotta
hug.
That's awesome. That's
Brothers
a good
gotta
one.
hug.
They're bees and they're sting crazy.
They're tearing my flesh off. That was a good one.
So,
well, I would say one of the best parts where you kind of get Farley being Farley, and my favorite quote of the entire movie is when Tommy comes back and after saving the day, and there's the big welcome back speech. He talks about how everyone's family, and he's like, "Hell, Ricky, I lost my virginity to your daughter." And then he just turns and he goes, "Rob, you were there."
And Rob leaves. Rob makes an exit, stays right hard fast.
That dude leaves so perfectly.
It's so good.
It's such a great quote. I mean, that even mean what happened, and I don't even know. But great joke.
The other thing is when Tommy, I was watching it today and I forgot about this, and it's such a great throwaway line, but he's piling on about all of the things that have gone wrong, and it's before he meets Zelensky, and he's like, all this stuff, and the town's gonna happen, and the business is gonna go out of business, and all these people are gonna be out of a job, and it's all because of me. And the chair gives out, and it falls on the ground. He's like, could have done without that. Damn it! I say that all the time. I'm like, I don't even know where that came from, but I'm like, man, I could have done without that. I can say that all the time.
There's the Eddie special. Housekeeping? You want towels? Tommy needs sleepy. You want me to?
Every Sunday.
Go away and let me sleep, for the love of God.
Every Sunday folding towels. The kids are like, you need towels? And they have no idea where it's coming from. Accent isn't quite on. But I'm like, you guys have no idea where that's from, but it's from me.
Eventually they're going to see that movie and they're going to be like, oh my God, that's where it's from.
Totally. I haven't quite let him watch it yet. I feel like it's PG-17. I'm way too protective.
I love the scene when they're in the restaurant and he is holding that dinner roll and he is talking about the dinner roll's like a sail.
I pet it.
And I pet it and I poke it and then
You're naughty. You're naughty.
That whole thing is so fantastic.
My whole life
honestly, I have actually used that at work where somebody was kind of effing up on handling this business relationship. And I use that as an example, this person, they kind of know what to do and then they totally screw it up. And I quoted that movie.
Hey, does this suit make you look fat? No, your face does.
Actually, when he rips it apart, he's he just screams, and everyone else in the restaurant looks at him. What the hell's wrong with you?
I do does Tommy look bloated?
Yeah.
Well, TV does add 50 pounds.
Does this make me look fat? No, what your face does.
Hey, does this suit make me look fat? No, your face does.
Or the beginning when he's with Big Tom and he's like, how do we look? He's like, chubby?
Yeah. I think that was a champagne top.
And he just leaves and say that shit all the time. Like, how do we look? Chubby?
No, a lot of people go to college for 7 years.
They're called doctors.
They're called doctors. Nailed it.
That's going to leave a mark. That one.
That's going to leave a mark. That's a good one.
How many of you have, since this movie, gone into an oscillating fan and said,
la, la, la,
la, la, la.
I am your father? All of us have. Don't lie. All of us have.
Of course.
Or when he's super excited with his refrigerator, he's like, you could put Cokes in there, you could put yogurt and milk. He's, yeah, Tommy, anything needs to be refrigerated.
Frozen Snickers.
Put a 6-pack of
Snickers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did also like it. I remember it striking me at the time, and it still does catch me, is when they're toward the end of the movie, when they're in the test, like the vehicle test facility, and Richard's character stands in front of that wind machine and the toupee, like blowing back, and their reactions to that is so great. And he goes, zh, zh, like,
everyone's like, whoa, holy shit.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone.
I choose to believe that's David Spade's head. Like, that's how it works.
Well, apparently he didn't want the hairdressers to do his hair for most of the movie, which is why it always looked a little disheveled. But apparently the bald hair and wig took like 4 hours to like get put on for that scene.
Yeah, I think he's very vain about that stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's self-conscious about that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So are you saying that this is a quotable movie?
Yes.
Okay.
This, as we said before, this is a string of sketches, a string of quotes. It's not really a movie, but it's damn funny.
Tommy want wee.
Tommy want wee. That's a good one too.
When he pulls his chin back.
Tommy want wee.
That neck is ginormous.
He's got 11 chins. Okay, let's move on to the how much are they worth game and wrap it up.
Oh my God. Okay.
And now, let's play the how much are they worth game.
What are we talking about here?
We've got Julie Warner, Rob Lowe.
Oh my God, really?
Okay.
Julie Warner has been in 4 movies.
A million things.
Okay.
4 or 5 movies, you know for sure.
All right.
Julie Warner, Rob Lowe, David Spade, Chris Farley, and Lorne Michaels.
Ooh. Lorne Michaels, that is a good one.
That's a tough one. If the number is less than $10 billion, then it's a problem.
All right.
All right, let's start with Julie Warner.
I don't even, what has she done?
Doc Hollywood?
Oh, yeah.
This?
Yeah, this is a terrible, how would you guess at this? I don't know what this.
What?
What kind of career does the Julie Warner put up there?
She was in Flatliners?
Doc Hollywood, and she was in like a CBS show. That's it. Nothing.
Flatliners. Oh, she was recently in The Good Doctor. I don't remember that. There's a lot of stuff. She's Grey's Anatomy.
Oh. I thought she did more movies. I mean, TV recently, right? But
Little Women, Big Cars.
That's hilarious.
She's in Crash.
The Outsiders.
What?
Flatliners. Doc Hollywood.
Nip Tuck.
She was in The Outsiders?
Indian Summer. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a funny movie.
Yeah, Tommy Boy.
She's got way more
Grown-ups.
in her 53
repertoire
actor credits.
Scrubs.
Right.
It's Scrubs? Huh.
Scrubs. Entourage.
Squirrel covers.
Oh, we're doing that movie.
Oh my God.
I was thinking the same thing.
We are doing that movie.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And that is the single quotable line in the movie.
Oh, that's going to be Rob and Polly. Get ready. We're going deep on that movie. I think I have a number.
I've written a number.
I don't know what to do with that. Okay. Have you written down your numbers, gentlemen?
For Julie Warner.
Yeah.
For Julie Warner.
All right. Rob, give us your number.
8 million.
8. I've got 14.
Oh, I wrote 6.
Ed?
The closest without going over?
No, you just guessed.
One.
There's no prices writing this shit.
I'm going one. Right. $1 million.
Wow.
All right. Julie Warner. Okay. Julie Warner is an American actress with a net. Whoa.
Wow.
I can't believe it. A net worth of $2 million.
Oh, fucking Ed.
I was busting Ed's balls and he fucking got it right. Wow, Ed.
Goddamn.
Here and there.
I knew it was going to be low. I didn't know it was going to be that low.
Wow. I'm kind of surprised. Robert Lowe.
Oh. This is going to be sneaky, I think.
Rob Lowe.
Man.
Yeah, Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Robert Edward Patrick Lowe Jr. the third. Mm-hmm.
Whole filmography.
It's got like
3 actors.
Slapshot.
St. Elmo's Fire.
A lot of West.
He's got St. Elmo's Fire. He's got like Rat Pack money, but he pissed that all away in the divorce because like whatever he did in 1985, 6, 8 with that divorce and that horrible scandal.
Parks and Rec.
Masquerade.
Lost all that money though, pre-Masquerade. Like lost it all to his ex-wife.
So I want to understand his choice because this is I've now seen a second one of this. So he was uncredited for this movie.
Yeah.
And he was uncredited in the interview. He's like, I don't understand.
Tommy Boy, the script was drastically rewritten, so he was no longer a lead, and he wanted to keep his name hush hush and be a surprise.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But Allison, I don't know if you remember, like they like late 80s, early 90s, like that he was the first sex tape.
Yeah.
That came out, and so his name was garbage.
Yeah.
And I think these were sort of a rehab thing that was happening.
He was in Austin Powers Gold Member. I didn't realize his character name was Middle Number 2.
Yeah. He's not old number 2. He's not young number 2.
I think he was just trying to get into stuff and like to rehab his image.
Yeah.
But then it landed on Parks and Rec. So I don't know. I'll guess 25 million. Just because of Parks and Rec.
Cool.
Shit.
You jumped the gun there, Slim, but that's all right.
Just because of Parks and Rec. Like, that was a popular show for 6 years. So I'll go with that. Maybe no money on West Wing.
See, I'm going to go 40.
I wrote down 30.
Rob?
12.
12. What are you, his account?
I think it's higher than 12 now. I said 16 should be right.
Oh, here we go. Rob Lowe is an American film and television actor who has a net worth of $100 million.
Are you fucking kidding me?
100 million.
That was me. Ed's got one.
Wow. Is he like smart with his money?
He must have sold property or something.
He's in that Atkins stuff, right? He must be an investor in that. Or
I don't know.
Commercials and stuff.
That doesn't get you 100 million.
Making it up.
Boy, he's out there schlepping stuff. I don't know.
Well, I just want to take this moment to apologize to Rob Lowe.
Share your apology, Rob.
I'll pass it.
Pardon him earlier in the Pubcast.
Okay, David Spade, number 3.
This is going to be hard.
Spade's the best.
Stand-up money.
Yeah.
It's got movie money.
Just shoot me, rules of engagement, 8 simple rules. I'll go 50 million.
Slow down. Don't shoot your wad just yet there, Slim. We gotta look at his IMDb. Bada boom, bada bing.
Bada boom. Price is right.
It's got his recent stuff. It's got the wrong Missy in there. That was a big hit for him.
Yeah, but it's on Netflix. Like, I don't know how the money works there.
They paid some people a lot.
He was in
Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, that's right. Grown Ups, those movies.
He was, forget it.
Yeah, there's a lot
Entourage, Joe Dirt, Grown Ups.
Oh, Joe Dirt. There's a lot of nonsense, a lot of noise, if you will.
All right, I have a number.
I wrote down a number.
Rob, what's your number for Dave Spade?
He was an Alf for one episode.
I have a number of $34 million.
34. Ed said 50. Al, what do you got?
I wrote 80.
Ooh, I wrote 31. Ooh. David Spade is an American actor, comedian, and television personality who has a net worth of $70 million.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Allison gets it.
Woohoo!
All right, now it's Chris Farley. This one's tricky because it's the estate of. Right. I don't know how that's going to work. And he died so long ago. I don't know what.
He didn't really make a bunch of movies, though.
Right.
He did?
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
And it was so long. He didn't make a lot of money on SNL. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it was that much.
20 years later, how do we even determine that?
18 actor credits.
Yeah, he might be worth, $4 million. $3 million.
I've got a number. It sounds like Rob's got a number. Al, you got one?
I'll leave it.
Ed, what's your number? For Farley. What is it?
I already said it, no?
For Farley, what is it?
Oh, Farley, sorry. Shoot, man. I don't know. He died so young, 25.
25 for Farley.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Does it live in the post? I don't understand, like, post-death. Like, at the time of his death or, like, we're living in? Sorry.
We're all kind of guessing.
Well, I don't think there's a Chris Farley corporation that we're unaware of.
Like, time of his death. Like, 25 is max dollars.
All right, I've got 6. Al?
Yeah.
12.
Rob?
Yeah. I was going to say 2.5, not 25. $6 million. $6 million.
I just said 6. Damn you.
Oh.
No, you can't.
$5 million.
You're not prices writing me out of this, motherfucker. Chris Farley was an American actor who had a net worth of $5 million. Me and Rob tied.
I said 5.
I wonder what his estate is worth now, if there was any royalties in the post 90 whatever.
I mean, if the Chris Farley that I expect to be is anyone close to it, I'm sure he invested very responsibly.
I'm sure.
I would think his family would have taken it from him.
The Chris Farley, so bright,
protected it a little bit from himself.
Yeah, but do you trust your family to do the right thing, or you don't know what they're going to do?
My family.
All right, here's the tough one.
I don't even know how to think about this one.
Lauren, don't call me Lauren.
I don't know what this means because clearly those movies from 93 to 98 were spent on something else.
Well, he sold his soul to the devil. We know
30 Rock, Late Night, or The Late Show, I mean.
Yeah, I mean. Jimmy Fallon, night. Right? And what's his face, the other one?
Late Show, but Late Night he has.
Yep. Conan.
30 Rock.
I mean, I'm going to put an insane number down.
I wrote down a big number.
Oh, I think the number's big.
I mean, mean, he's been on SNL. I'm sure he's getting paid a lot.
And then he produces the shows, like the award shows now, and like
I think he's like Dan Aykroyd, like sneaky, like in Hands in All the Pots, or like Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler learned from Lorne Michaels.
I think Lorne Michaels is bigger than Adam Sandler.
Right. That's, I guess, what I'm saying. Like, because Dan Aykroyd has Blues Brothers, but he had the House of Blues and all these restaurants, all these other things, like vodka or whatever he was doing. I think Lorne Michaels is kind of the same sort of guy. They all learned from Lorne Michaels. So.
Well, no, I think every time a Blues Brothers hat is sold in Chicago, Lorne Michaels gets a piece of it.
Every word you say makes me add a number to my number.
Know.
I mean, he has a master merchandising agreement, right? Like anything from Saturday Night Live is his. He gets paid for it.
He was a producer on the Mean Girls the musical.
I have an insane number written down, and I think I'm way too low.
We just agreed he's worth more than Tesla, and he's sending shit to the moon, right?
I'm way too low.
Right. He's making movies on the moon.
Schmigadoon.
Okay. Do you have a number, Al? Nash, give me your number.
Oh my God. 200 million.
Okay. Ed, give me your number.
Oh, it should be higher.
Shut up.
You scared me, Rob. I was gonna say 400 million, but
no, Seinfeld is a fucking
shut up.
Billion,
let him say his number.
400. I said 400 before he talked. So 400.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I know Allison has written hers down. She's not going to change it. When we were talking, I had 225 written down, and then as we were talking, I'm like, oh, I'm way underselling this. So I wrote down 600.
Whoa!
Shut up! Oh my God!
I think we're
180.
I feel like there's still a limit on TV.
I know, but apparently he owns the entire world, so I don't know what we're.
He and Bezos, they're doing it all.
Okay. Lorne Michaels is a Canadian American. Well, we didn't take into the currency exchange.
Yeah.
You know, Canadian American television producer and writer who has a net worth of $500 million.
Oh my God.
Sorry. $500 million.
You said 600.
$500 billion.
So Ed and I are equidistant. The rule is under, right?
Right.
If it's a tie, under wins. So
right.
Ed,
what did I say?
200.
250? 2? What?
Ed said 400. Nash said 200.
I said 180.
I cannot believe this man is worth that much money.
So I got one. I got two. Al got one. Rob got one, and Ed got two. So Ed and I tie.
With my 1 million, with my little one.
You and I tie. We have to go to a bonus round.
Yeah.
So let's pick a name. A Tommy Boy related name. We didn't do
like Dennehy.
We didn't do Dennehy. Yeah, that's a good one.
Is Bo Derek still on?
Brian, yeah. Ed, what do you want to do? Brian Dennehy or Bo Derek?
Dennehy. He's the greatest cowboy there ever was with Silverado.
Brian Dennehy. Okay.
Can we play along?
You can play along, but
he alive? We should do Dead or Alive first.
Dead. He died 2 years ago.
He is alive.
No.
Alive?
Is he?
No.
He's alive.
No, he died.
He died
in
2 years
2020.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Oh, COVID death? COVID? What got him?
All right. He did a few movies.
185.
Rambo, Silverado, and Cocoon. Those things jump to mind for me. That's the best. But of course, Cocoon was whatever, 84, Rambo's 85 or 86. Silverado is in between there with Kevin Costner's deal. He made no money off of those. I don't know. He made no money. He's awesome and prolific and in everything, and he probably made $10 million.
Is that your number?
$10
10 is your number?
$10 million.
All right. Mine is 22.
I would have gone 20.
Because I think he might have been smart. Ooh, Brian Dennehy is an American.
Wait, 17 million.
Great. Was an American actor who had a net worth of $12 million. Eddie wins. 3-2.
Lucky.
All right, boys and girls, that was Tommy Boy. Final thoughts? Anything we missed?
Rewatchable.
Sure.
Timeless, if we'd like to say that. Timeless. It transcends generations.
I didn't ask this because I've taken this question out of the rotation, but
don't ask it.
Would you want to see a sequel?
Oh.
And
what?
If so, what would it be?
Oh, well, yes. Thank you for asking. Note I have in my paper.
I can't believe
you got an answer.
You have an answer to this nonsense.
I do.
Because the answer is no, and leave it alone.
Oh, you think it is? So this entire movie hinges on the deviousness of one Bo Derek, and they come busting into the alleged, handshake deal at Zelensky's headquarters, and they reveal these crimes, and everyone focuses on Rob Lowe getting hustled out of there, and then Zelensky makes a move on Beverly. He's like, "Hey, would you like go to lunch with me at the club?" I want to know what goes on with Beverly. Where does she go next? What next? What's the grift that she runs the next time? Where's she going to pull a scam?
Do we?
That's your sequel.
So is she?
That's your sequel.
Is she a Black Widow? And she's just.
Yeah.
Zelensky is her latest conquest, and she's gonna.
She's running Ocean's 11 style scams all over the world.
Oh my God. No, I thought you were going to ask the question, do cell phones ruin the movie? To which I would have said,
of course they do.
All of those sales meetings would have been done on Zoom.
Right.
And so there is no road trip.
Right. There's no
It's
road
just
trip.
sitting at a desk and...
It's a fucking email.
Right.
You want to buy some shit for us?
Well, Michelle clearly would have been able to catch Tommy, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought the only thing, if it was called a part 2, is I ate paint chips as a kid, Tommy Boy 2. And then you have a kid, because you have a second generation, or the paint chips, or some deviation of, the eating of paint chips.
Or do you want to see a prequel with Tommy and Richard, the younger?
Well, that'd be awesome.
Oh,
I'd see a prequel. Prequel's very in vain right now.
Big Tom
That'd be fun.
Big Tom.
Big Tom starting out in corporate life, or creating the Sandusky brand.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good stuff. I'd see that.
Callahan brand.
Or it's just Tommy in college.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Tommy in college would be a good one. The 7-year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we.
I think it's nicely encapsulated in the however 97 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah, 137 minutes.
Is it that long?
Yeah.
2.5 hours or 2+ hours?
137 minutes is.
Yeah, it's too long.
It's 137 minutes?
Yes.
It goes by too fast.
Like a lot of Saturday Night Live movies, they go too long.
137
It's not too
minutes
long.
is 2+ hours.
Oh, yeah. Or was it an hour 37 maybe?
That feels right.
Yeah.
97 minutes feels right.
Hour 37.
Yeah.
Sure.
Whew.
Yeah. That's what I meant, I think.
Yeah, that was like longer than The Godfather.
Right.
That's a long movie.
What happens next?
Hour 37.
Tommy, you want wing?
Yeah, Tommy Boy, you can't go wrong. It's great. All ages, wonderful. It's funny. It's a sketch after a sketch after a sketch. There is no. The story is secondary. Ed, stop raising your hand.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you? This is a podcast. Just jump in, dude.
You're sick.
I just mean the radio road trip pieces or what we didn't discuss with the Carpenters and don't you remember the time of the show, baby? And it's true.
But I like the exchange of they find the channel with the song and I'm not like you change it. No, I'm not. You change it. Like they're trying to like not like trying to force the other person to change it.
100%. And then the end of the world as you know it. Like that's it. That's like 1997. And they don't even know the words. Nobody knows the words of that stupid fucking song. But that's the greatest. That's the greatest. Road trips don't happen anymore with a cell phone. It's great. It's a time capsule. It's the best.
Yep.
All right. That's Tommy Boy.